DJI Mini 3 update. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by co-host Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest regarding the DJI Mini 3. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. Main topic tonight is the Mini 3. And we're hearing a lot of chatter about this. And I did find an article, and I wanted to go ahead and share this with you. Now, this article was from February the 5th, and it wasn't from the usual sources here. So let me go ahead.
Not our good friend Acetalev, or...
Well, actually, it's embedded with some information from Acetalev in the article here. Okay, DJI Mini 3 release date and specifications. Okay, now this is on flythatdrone.com. And he talks about the fall 2019 with, DJI coming out with the first mini drone, and then the Mini 2. Let's discuss the Mini 3 release date, what we know about rumors, specifications, price, etc. Now, the Mini 3 has, he's stating here, the Mini 3 has a release date looking like this of April of 2022. A leaked product roadmap by Drone Deals on Twitter reveals several products in line for the 2022 release, including the Mini 3. According to the leaked roadmap, the Mini 3 release date is April 2022. Let's go ahead. I'm going to bring that up here.
And this all follows the roadmap that Acetalev leaked, almost early January.
Right. Now you can see right here, this is April. You can see here, June, RS, RS3, RSC3, FPV Mini, Inspire 3, which looks like September, and a Pocket 3, the question mark, looks like in November. So again, this is all just
right, basically working off the Acetalev roadmap from
right now here. I recently received an email from Autel PR agency informing me Autel is releasing a new sub 250 called Nano Plus. Okay, now that's some previous news. Now there was another article here that I wanted to get to. Okay, yeah. This is from
that's the diagram that I think Acetalev released.
Yeah, he released this information as well too, talking about the battery, the obstacle avoidance on here. Apart from the
here's some Mini 2 specs.
Yeah, the flight time on the Mini 2 is an impressive 31 minutes, but can be further improved in Mini 3. Competitors are offering 40+ minutes of flight time. Optical or digital zoom can be increased for better photography. The Mini 2 only offers up to 4x zoom. The Xeno Mini has a larger f1.85 aperture compared to the f2.8 of the Mini 2. Larger aperture means better photography in low light conditions. A better camera resolution on the Mini 3 could be an incentive to upgrade. The current Mini 2 only offers 12 megapixel, which is sometimes insufficient in post-production if you want to zoom in and crop images. The Mini 2 doesn't come with integrated storage, so you have to buy a compatible SD for the Mini 2. Mini 3 can have a fast onboard storage option like other high-end drones. Famous DJI pilot and insider Acetalev shared his own concept of the Mini 3 specs, which illustrates what's possible in store for the new release. See the below image Acetalev shared on Twitter, and I'll let you guys look at this at your leisure. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, Ron, is, okay, it's interesting. He has an April date down here for this release. That sounds very realistic. It sounds very doable. I would say early April. I think it's. I don't think it's going to be late April. I think it's going to be an early April kind of a release that we're going to see. And the other thing that's
this follows the release pattern. They've released the Air 2 and the Air 2S in April the past 2 years in a row. So this kind of follows their release pattern for the spring.
That's a good point. And the other thing that he doesn't mention in this article, but there's been some other ones, and I didn't find the source for that. but then a Mini SE is going to come out at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have a source, but when you just off the things you read on Facebook and Twitter and just the internet in general, you see people mention, but that's more of a rumor than a source.
Yeah, that's more of a rumor than an actual source. It's kind of wishful thinking, but the other thing is a mini FPV drone. That's on the horizon. I mean, that's not going to come
for the
out
summer, supposedly. Yeah,
that sounds like a summer kind of thing. So, Ron, this is exciting stuff. I mean,
yeah.
And I will say this. All right, when it comes out of the gate, all right, you're not going to have dampener issues. You're not going to have. I mean, it's going to be right out of the box. You power it up, maybe a quick firmware update, gimbal calibration, boom, you're ready to go.
Right, because a whole bunch of testers will have had it in their hands for months before this. If it does have a dampener issue, it'll be fixed way before the general public gets it.
And see, here's the thing again, and I'm going to go back to Hubson and FIMI. With they chose to have us be their beta testers. And I know, Gorilla Man said alpha testers, but we were chosen. And I kind of think Autel's kind of done the same thing because they're in a hurry to get to market, and they want to get this out. And I understand they don't have the kind of staff and personnel that a DJI doesn't have, but you need to put something out that's going to be. You need to put a quality product out. If you're not putting a quality product out, that's going to really not bode well for your company, Ron.
Well, we talked about this a little bit before in the past. I mean, Autel's released, their Autel Evo line of drones that has been a good product in 2 generations, but they're not a biggest company like DJI, and they're basically released 4 new models because you have the Nano, you have 2 Nanos and 2 Lights. Trying to release 4 products at the same time for a company their size, do you think that was just a little bit? They bit off a little bit more they could chew in this one, Bill.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Ron. That's like DJI could pull off something like that.
But they don't even do it.
They don't do it. Exactly. You don't see DJI releasing like a multiple product line at the same time, kind of a thing. Okay, it's one thing. That's coming out at that time. Okay, you're not seeing. Oh, we're going to do 4 generations of the Mini. Okay, no, they're going to come out with one, maybe a second one, a Mini SE. We'll see, but they're not. And which for them, it's just an easy. It's making that is going to be easy for them because you just swap out the internals. I mean, along the production line, it's going to have the same body, the same props, same ESC, everything. It's going to be the same, and you're really not going to be doing a whole lot different for something like that.
Yeah, and an SE makes sense for the Mini 3 in the fact that, okay, if they kind of go, what do you call, full go on the Mini 3 and try to spec it out with a 1-inch sensor, the obstacle avoidance, all that stuff, to compete with the Nano, whatever. Well, now we're looking at what, we're looking at $800-900 price point or whatever. And I believe, this is my opinion, I believe the Mini 1 and Mini 2 were so successful. They're probably the most sold drones the DJI's ever put out. Is not because of the 250 grams, it's because of the price. Mm-hmm. So if they throw everything in the Mini 3 but the kitchen sink, but put the price up to like $800-900, they're going to turn all the people off that love the first 2 Minis because of that price point. But if they could make an all-out Mini 3, spec it out, price up, but then it could come out with an SE version that didn't have the 1-inch sensor, didn't have the obstacle avoidance, but was priced to compete in the market. They could get both ends of that. They could take sales away from the Nano series, the higher priced Nano series, but still get the people that are out looking, that prices are main concern, not 250 grams, not 1-inch sensor cameras.
That's you hit the nail on the head, Ron. I know a lot of our friends over in the UK and in Europe, like Stephen Ewing, that 250 gram is important to them, and it does. And up in Canada, Lauren and company up in Canada, it's important for them to have that drone, because of regulations and licensing and so forth, and it makes it easier to fly. But for us, it's really kind of negligible. But you really hit the nail on the head. It's all about the price, okay? If you're looking at 2 same products, okay, and you're getting the same thing from both of them, and they both have decent quality, and one's less than the other, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Okay, and this is what it is in this instance here. Okay, because that's why this drone has sold so well. DJI has priced it competitively. Okay, I don't think they price themselves out.
Ultra competitive.
Yeah.
It's almost really it's almost like they don't charge enough for it, especially
I mean, for what they're charging for the SE, that's crazy, Ron. That is just absolutely crazy because of how good a drone it is. I mean, I had it, and it was flawless. I mean, even on a moderately windy day, it still was just fine. I had no issues with something like that.
To me, Bill, if they're only going to release one Mini 3, they're not going to have an SE. They're just going to have one version. If I was DJI, and I'm not DJI by any means, but if I was them, I would not go the route where I put all the bells and whistles in, throw the kitchen sink in, and make a $900 drone and have the obstacle avoidance, the 1-inch sensor, all that crazy stuff. I would actually have it spec below the Nano series, but I'd have it priced to win.
Well, here's my thing, Ron, and this is what I have to say about this. Okay, I think obstacle avoidance. Okay, and forgive my terminology, it's the sexy option. Okay, it's the one that's gonna attract people. All right, but truth be told, with obstacle avoidance, all right, when you get to start flying drones and you get some experience and you get some ground beneath your feet and you get a firm handle on this drone, okay, you do not need obstacle avoidance. Okay, that obstacle avoidance is really, I mean, it's a very nice thing on a drone like the Mavic 3. Don't get me wrong. Okay, especially like if you're backing up, if you're doing a shot where you have to back up, you can't see back there. That's a good thing. Okay, and a lot of professionals appreciate that. All right.
Well, and if you're doing a return to home and you don't have your height set enough for the highest object, it won't slam into the side of a tall building or something.
Exactly. But with the mini drones, okay, more often than not, okay, you're seeing everything that drone is doing. You have, I mean, which you should, by the way, because of FAA regulations. You have an eye on it all the time, and you really don't need that obstacle avoidance. I mean, really, if you've gotten some, flying under your belt and you have some experience, that's.
I remember the Mini's only going to get limited obstacle avoidance anyway, so a rookie pilot could still get themselves in trouble with a drone that only has like front obstacle avoidance. We've said this before, I think, too. The obstacle avoidance sounds great, but it's only really a couple high-end drones that really have it nailed down. That really is going to save your bacon in every situation. Your Skydio 2. Your Evo 2 Pro has 1 million sensors, the Mavic 3, and even throw the Mavic 2 series there. Those 4 drones have the sensors almost on every side, top, bottom, side, back, front. They're the only series of drones that really is going to save your bacon in almost all circumstances, outside of thin wires, whatever. The other ones that have limited obstacle avoidance, I mean, if you go sideways, if you're tracking and goes sideways or does something where one of the sensors doesn't see, you're toast anyway. So the rookies relying on obstacle avoidance, that's not that good either because they don't have the good obstacle avoidance drones.
Right, and you're having to spend. You're going to be spending about $1,000 or more to get those kind of drones, Ron. I mean,
$1,000, way over $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of getting a mini drone, because one of the things, like you just said about 3 minutes ago, is the price. Okay, that's the thing that really grabs and attracts people. I think, and this is just my opinion, and I don't know, Frank Wang, I don't know if you're listening or not, but I think it would be better to put something in like a 1-inch sensor versus obstacle avoidance in a drone like this, Ron, because they can do that. They can still keep it at a reasonable price, and you're getting an incredible camera in a very small package.
Yeah. If the weight of the 1-inch sensor is not too much for a small gimbal, and it doesn't hurt the battery life too much. I mean, it's a lot of things. Everything's a sacrifice. 1-inch camera sensor is good, but what do you have to sacrifice on the back end for it?
Yeah, exactly. And you may have to sacrifice, in that article talks about runtime with something like this. Okay.
Yeah, it said 31 minutes. So once you put obstacle avoidance in, there goes your runtime, Bill.
Your runtime. Yeah. Your runtime's going to, you got to have give and take with something like this. you have this, you got to give up something. It's one of those kind of things, and that's what it is in this instance. Okay, you're going to have to give up some of that battery life. I mean, that's just going to be a natural consequence of something like this. I mean, that's just, I think, the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, I mean, the Mini 3 is going to be one of the most interesting drones of the year, because what's going to be interesting to us is, again, how much they spec it out, how much are they willing to, to bump the price up to spec it out.
Yeah,
that's going to be the most interesting thing to see, because if it comes out, again, it's got every bell and whistle, and I'm going to go, oh no, it's going to cost $900.
Yeah, and I don't I don't think. Okay, now I heard somebody say about 645, 650 for a Mini.
That's been Lauren's 650 prediction all along, which, I mean, if it's spec'd out enough, 650 is a good price if it brings some good specs to the table.
Yeah.
And I don't mean obstacle avoidance, but
know. And that's what I think. Folks are so all wrapped up with obstacle avoidance, and everybody fell into the trap with especially with Hubsan, and them saying, we're going to have obstacle avoidance and a 40-minute runtime, and we're going to have be incredible camera and everything, and they fell short.
Hubsan nailed that spec sheet when they last April. The spec sheet was great, but they couldn't deliver the goods.
Question of the day: what did you think about all the latest regarding the DJI Mini 3? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.